Are you waiting for happiness? Stop waiting. Learn how small steps can make life joyful. Today. Hello and welcome to Easy English Official. I'm very happy you are here today. This video is made for people who want to learn English. It is easy to follow and great for practice. As you listen, follow the words on the screen. You can hear the right pronunciation and see how sentences are made. If you don't know a word, pause and listen again. This is a great way to practice reading and listening. You will hear simple English sentences and short stories. They are easy to understand and perfect for A1/A2 learners. Stay with me, and we will learn to live better while learning English together. This lesson is about finding happiness in daily life. You will learn how small actions can change your day. Every small step counts, and you can start right now. Welcome to Easy English Official. Chapter 1. Waiting for the Perfect Day. This is Easy English Official. Today, I want to share a story about happiness. Many people wait for perfect moments, but happiness is not waiting. It is something we can find today, right now. I used to wait for everything in my life to be perfect. I said, I will be happy when I have more money, a better job, or more free time. I thought happiness would come only after I finished all my tasks. But the days went by, and I still felt empty. I remember sitting in my room, looking out the window and thinking about my life. Everyone around me seemed to be moving forward. They were smiling, laughing, and enjoying small things. I felt stuck, like my life was paused. One morning, I decided to go to the park to clear my mind. The air was fresh, and the sun was soft on my face. I walked slowly and tried to notice little things, like the birds and the flowers. But my mind still felt heavy with waiting. I sat on a bench and saw an old woman eating a small sandwich. She smiled gently, and her eyes looked calm and happy. I wondered why she seemed so peaceful. I wanted to understand her secret. I asked her softly, "Ma'am, how do you find happiness?" She looked at me with kind eyes and said, "Stop waiting. Happiness is today. You do not need a perfect day to be happy." Her words were simple, but they hit my heart. I thought about all the "I will be happy when" moments in my life. I realized I had spent years waiting for things that might never come. I had been hiding behind my own expectations. Waiting felt safe, but it made me lonely. She told me that she, too, had waited for perfect retirement, perfect travel, perfect life. But nothing was perfect. She found that happiness comes in small moments, in little choices we make every day. Her words gave me hope. I began to see that happiness is not far away or hidden in big achievements. It is in the small, simple things we already have. A smile, a walk, a moment of peace. These are treasures we can enjoy now. I started to think about my morning routine. I always rushed coffee and scrolled my phone. I never noticed the warmth of the cup or the smell of the coffee. I decided to take one small action. Enjoy my coffee for 3 minutes without distractions. The first day I did this, it felt strange. Sitting quietly and drinking coffee slowly seemed too simple to matter. But I felt a small spark of happiness. It was nothing big, but it was real, and it felt good. Then I thought about my friends. I always said, I will call them when I have more time. That week, I picked up the phone and called one friend for 5 minutes. We laughed and shared small stories. That short call felt meaningful. I realized that I had been waiting for big moments when life was already full of small gifts. I had forgotten that the present is alive and waiting for me to enjoy it. The world was full of small chances to smile. I decided to write down all the small things I enjoyed that day. The birds, the sun, the smile of a stranger, a tasty sandwich, a quiet moment alone. Each item was small, but together, they felt like a treasure. Every day, I started noticing one more small joy. I smiled at a neighbor, I watched the sky, I read a single page of a book. I realized that these small actions added up to something bigger: peace and happiness. The old woman's advice kept ringing in my mind. Stop waiting. I understood that waiting steals our energy, and action, even tiny action, gives life. Every small choice matters. I began to feel lighter. I stopped imagining that I needed perfect conditions to enjoy life. I could take a small step right now. I could choose a small action and feel alive today. I started walking in the park every morning. At first, I thought, it's just a short walk. But the walk helped me breathe, think, and notice the world around me. One small step led to another. I began smiling at strangers. Some returned the smile, some did not. It did not matter. I felt a small connection with the world. Happiness grew in these small moments, not in waiting. I looked at my old plans and realized how much time I had wasted. Waiting for perfect conditions was holding me back. I felt regret, but also hope. I could change today. I understood that my life is happening now. Every small action is a choice to live, not to wait. Drinking tea, stretching, sending a message, all of these can bring happiness if I notice them. I learned to celebrate small wins: washing one dish, making one bed, learning one word of English. Each small win built my confidence. I felt alive in ways I had never felt before. I noticed how my mind changed. Anxiety and waiting slowly disappeared. I started to feel joy in little things: the sun, the laughter of children, the sound of music. Life felt present and beautiful. I realized that stopping waiting is not a single act. It is a habit, a choice we make every day. Choosing to act, to notice, to enjoy small moments. Happiness grows in these tiny seeds. The old woman's smile became my reminder. Life is not about perfect days or perfect moments. Life is about noticing today and taking small steps to live fully. I stopped thinking about tomorrow or later. I focused on what I could do now: reading, walking, smiling, connecting with people. All these small actions were real joy. I began to share this idea with my friends. We talked about small actions that make us happy. They were surprised how simple things could bring peace and joy into our lives. Now every morning I ask myself, what small thing can I do today to feel alive? Even the tiniest action matters. Happiness is not waiting for later. It is here. Life is happening. Happiness is available in small moments. Every small step is a victory. Every small smile is a gift. I learned that waiting is wasted time. I am no longer Maya who waits. I am Maya who lives, one small action at a time. Happiness is not a destination. It is the way we live today, fully and gently. Chapter 2: The Trap of the Big Idea. I waited for a big change to feel happy. I thought my life needed a huge event or a perfect plan. Big changes scared me, and I felt stuck. Every day felt heavy because I waited for something that never came. I remembered the woman in the park who smiled at her small sandwich. She did not wait for anything big. Her happiness was simple and small, yet full and real. Her secret made me think differently about my life. I realized that I had been chasing the big idea for years. I wanted a perfect job, a perfect trip, a perfect moment to feel alive. But the bigger the idea, the more afraid I became. I kept postponing action. Every time I thought about starting, my mind said, "Wait, you are not ready yet." I watched movies, scrolled on my phone, and distracted myself. I avoided the feeling of fear that came with big plans. I felt guilty for wasting time, but fear controlled me. I wanted to feel ready, motivated, and inspired before taking action, but that perfect moment never arrived. Waiting became my habit. One morning, I looked at my dreams and felt overwhelmed. They seemed too big, too hard, and too far away. I wanted to run away from them. I needed a way to start without fear controlling me. I thought about learning English, something I had wanted for months. I kept saying, "I will start on Monday." But Monday came and went many times. The goal felt huge, and I kept delaying it. I asked myself a simple question: what is the smallest thing I can do right now? I realized I could learn just one word in English. It was tiny, almost silly, but it was possible. I learned one word. That small action felt strange but exciting. It was not a big achievement, but it started movement. I felt a spark of life in a way I had not felt for months. The next day, I learned another word, then another. Slowly, the small actions built momentum. I felt progress. I understood that happiness comes from action, not waiting for big ideas. I started applying this to other parts of my life. I washed one plate, made one bed, and took one small walk. Each tiny step gave me energy and confidence. The trap of waiting for big things began to disappear. I realized that big ideas are often illusions. They make us wait and feel paralyzed. But small actions create real results. Life moves forward one small step at a time. I started noticing small wins. Completing one task, sending one message, smiling at one person. These small actions brought joy, peace, and a sense of accomplishment. I felt less scared to start. I learned that fear is normal, but it does not have to stop us. Tiny actions break fear into pieces. Every small step proved that I could do it. I shared my small actions with friends. They were surprised that tiny steps could change life. I explained that big ideas are only useful if we start with small actions. First, I started writing down small actions each morning. The list was tiny. Drink water, walk for 5 minutes, read one page. But each line reminded me that I was moving forward. I realized that waiting for the perfect day is an illusion. Life happens now. Big achievements start with small beginnings. I felt empowered and free from waiting. Even small moments felt meaningful. A smile, a cup of tea, a 5-minute walk. These became my treasures. I noticed that happiness grows in these tiny moments. I stopped thinking about, "I will be happy when." I began saying, "I can feel alive now." I let small actions guide me instead of big ideas that trapped me. I learned that consistency is key. Tiny steps every day created a rhythm. My energy grew, and fear diminished. I felt life flowing gently. I started experimenting with small goals. Each success gave me courage for the next. I no longer waited for motivation. Action brought motivation. Automatically, I realized that the mind loves to wait for big plans, but the heart grows with small actions. Happiness and progress are built one tiny piece at a time. The trap of the big idea is that it paralyzes us. I escaped it by choosing small, achievable steps. Life began to feel lighter, more colorful, and joyful. I learned to celebrate tiny wins, learning one word, making one call, writing one sentence. Each small victory mattered. They built confidence and momentum. I started noticing opportunities for small actions everywhere. Cleaning, reading, smiling, walking, connecting. Life was full of chances to act now. The old woman's words echoed in my mind. Stop waiting. Happiness is today. I understood that small actions are the bridge to real happiness. I no longer feared starting because I knew I could take one tiny step. Life became a collection of small joys, one after another, building a fulfilling journey. Every day I ask myself, what is the smallest thing I can do now? That question transformed my life. Small actions replaced fear, waiting, and doubt. I became a person who acts, not waits. Small actions are not small anymore. They are life itself. Happiness grew, step by step, choice by choice. I discovered the secret. Big changes are possible only after small steps. Life is movement, not waiting. The trap of the big idea lost its power over me. Chapter 3. The simple power of start small. I learned that small actions are powerful. Each tiny step can change your day and your life. You do not need a big plan to start. Even the smallest choice can bring energy and hope. One morning, I put on my shoes to go for a walk. It felt simple, almost silly. But that small action started a chain of movement. 2 minutes of walking became 10, and I felt alive. I tried washing one spoon in a sink full of dishes. It was a tiny task, but it gave me a sense of accomplishment. One spoon led to one plate, and soon the whole sink was clean. Small actions create momentum. I read just one page of a book. It was not much, but it gave me knowledge and satisfaction. I realized that small steps accumulate into bigger achievements. Happiness grows with action. Instead of waiting for motivation, I let action create it. I learned that starting is more important than waiting. Motivation follows small deeds, not the other way around. I noticed that my confidence grew slowly. Every small task I completed gave me belief in myself. Confidence is built in tiny moments, one step at a time, not overnight. Even small routines became joyful. Making my bed, stretching, or drinking water with attention. These little actions reminded me that life is happening now. I started to celebrate tiny victories. Learning one word, writing one sentence, sending one message. Each small win mattered. I felt proud and energized. I realized that waiting for perfection only steals time. Perfection is an illusion. Small steps are real, immediate, and effective. They give life to your day. I began noticing opportunities for small actions everywhere. A smile, a kind word, a short walk. All these tiny actions brought joy and connection. I stopped thinking about later and focused on now. Doing one thing at a time made life lighter and happier. I discovered that life is made of small moments. I learned that action beats fear. Small steps break big fears into pieces. Each small step reduces anxiety and builds courage. I practiced gratitude for tiny actions. Drinking tea slowly, observing the sky, noticing the wind. These small actions gave me peace and calm. I realized that big achievements start with small beginnings. A single word, a short walk, or one small act can grow into life-changing progress. I applied this to learning English. One word, one sentence, one conversation. Small efforts created improvement and joy. Even small actions can influence others. A smile, a kind word, or a helping hand made others happy too. Small actions ripple outward. I began planning less and acting more. Life does not wait for perfect plans. Action, however small, creates real change. I noticed that my daily mood improved. Small actions gave me purpose and focus. Waiting no longer dominated my thoughts. I learned to enjoy simple routines, drinking water mindfully, stretching for 5 minutes, or making a short note. These tiny steps brought contentment. I discovered that momentum comes from small actions. One completed task leads to another, and slowly, life moves forward. Small actions are like seeds. They grow into confidence, happiness, and accomplishment. I began planting seeds every day. I understood that action, not waiting, builds life. Happiness comes from doing, not imagining, not planning, not postponing. I celebrated my small progress daily. Even tiny wins were proof that I could achieve, that I could move forward, and that I was alive. I shared my idea with friends. They were amazed at how small actions could bring big changes. Simple steps became habits that improved life. I felt lighter, happier, and more peaceful. Small actions replaced fear, waiting, and procrastination. Life felt flowing and meaningful. I realized that living fully does not require big leaps. Just start small, start today. Every small step brings life and happiness closer. I now understand. Happiness is in the present, in small actions, in tiny choices. Start small, start now, and the rest will follow. Chapter 4. Happiness in the daily moment. I learned that happiness lives in small moments. Life is not only in big events or achievements. A single smile or a quiet morning can bring joy. Every moment has the power to make us feel alive. I started drinking my coffee slowly. I noticed its warmth and aroma. I let myself enjoy 3 minutes without rushing. That tiny pause made my morning peaceful and happy. I called my parents for just 5 minutes. It was enough to hear their voices and share a laugh. Small connections matter more than long conversations. These moments built love and closeness. I smiled at strangers in the park. Some smiled back, some didn't. It did not matter. The act of kindness filled me with joy and made the world feel lighter. I read 1 page of a book each day. It seemed small, almost meaningless, but it gave knowledge and calmness. Tiny steps like this slowly filled my days with satisfaction. I realized that delay steals happiness. Waiting for the perfect moment to act only wastes life. Doing one small thing now brings real energy and meaning. I started noticing the beauty around me. The sunlight on the leaves, the sound of birds, the gentle wind on my face. Small details create happiness when we pay attention. I paused to breathe deeply each morning. Just a few seconds of calm focus made me feel refreshed. These little moments became a simple ritual that brightened my day. I wrote down small joys every evening. The smell of coffee, a kind word, a smile from a friend. Writing them made me grateful for the present, and aware of happiness. I stopped postponing fun or relaxation. I danced for one song, listened to one favorite tune, or watched a funny video. These tiny moments made my day lighter and joyful. I noticed that small actions are also self-care. Drinking water, stretching, or making my bed may seem trivial, but they created peace and comfort in my daily life. I started taking short walks. Even 5 minutes outdoors made my mind clearer. Small steps like these gave me energy and reminded me that life is happening now. I practiced gratitude for little things. A kind gesture, a tasty snack, or a warm shower. These small moments added happiness quietly and naturally. I discovered that we often ignore tiny pleasures. Waiting for big achievements blinds us to daily happiness. Life is made of small joys that are already present. I smiled at colleagues, neighbors, and strangers. Simple gestures of friendliness created tiny sparks of connection. Each smile made me feel lighter and more alive. I spent a few minutes enjoying the sun. Feeling warmth on my skin made me peaceful. These small moments taught me that happiness is present, not in the future. I realized that small actions also reduce stress. Drinking slowly, walking, or reading calms the mind. Happiness is hidden in these simple daily practices. I learned to savor food slowly. A single bite of chocolate or a sip of tea can bring pleasure if I pay attention. Small moments of enjoyment are powerful. I started noticing my breath. Each inhale and exhale reminded me I was alive. Mindful breathing became a simple practice to find calm and happiness. I spent a few minutes helping someone. A tiny act of kindness created connection. Giving small moments of care to others filled me with joy too. I practiced patience with small tasks. Washing a cup, folding clothes, or organizing my desk became moments of satisfaction. Completing them gave a sense of achievement. I realized that living fully is not about perfect days. Happiness is not delayed. It is built in daily choices and small actions that bring life into the present. I started keeping a daily journal. Writing a few sentences about small joys made me aware of happiness. Reflection helped me notice beauty in ordinary moments. I enjoyed the sounds around me. Birds, wind, laughter. Listening carefully made me feel connected to the world. Small moments of awareness brought peace. I learned to celebrate tiny wins. Finishing one task, sending a message, or learning a word. These small victories created momentum and confidence. I stopped rushing through life. Taking one small action at a time brought mindfulness and calm. Life became lighter, happier, and full of presence. Every day I asked myself, what small thing can I do now to feel alive? This simple question changed my life. Happiness grew in small daily moments. I discovered the secret. Living fully does not need big plans. Small actions, tiny joys, and mindful moments are the real keys to happiness. Chapter 5. Stop waiting, start living. Today, I realized that waiting steals my life. I ask myself, what is the smallest thing I can do now? Even a tiny action can start movement. Life begins with one small choice. I stretched for a few minutes in the morning. It felt simple, almost silly, but my body and mind felt alive. Small actions create energy and motivation. I drank a glass of water mindfully. Paying attention to this simple act reminded me that life is happening now. I did not wait for the perfect moment. I closed my computer for 5 minutes. I took a pause from work and worries. These tiny actions gave me clarity and calmness. Action, even small, creates space for happiness. I started walking outside for just a few minutes. The sun, the wind, and the sounds around me felt real. I realized happiness exists in the present, not in waiting. I wrote one sentence in my journal each day. It was small, but it helped me reflect and notice life. Tiny steps accumulate into growth and joy. I smiled at someone passing by. One simple gesture made me feel connected. Happiness grows when we act. Even in little ways, I made my bed in the morning. A small task gave me satisfaction and control over my day. Small actions build confidence and momentum. I sent a short message to a friend. I did not wait for a perfect conversation. Small connections bring real happiness and love. I read one page of a book. It felt small, but it gave learning and pleasure. Small steps create progress over time. I noticed my breath and took a few deep inhales. Tiny moments of mindfulness made me calm. Present actions reduce stress and bring peace. I picked up one small task at home. One spoon, one dish, one short chore. Completing small actions gave me energy and motivation. I decided to act instead of waiting for motivation. Action comes first, then energy follows. Small steps create real movement in life. I realized that big plans are not always necessary. One small step today is better than waiting for a perfect tomorrow. I tried something new, even if small. One word of English, one sketch, one note. Small experiments lead to growth and confidence. I chose to enjoy small moments, fully drinking tea, watching birds, listening to music. Happiness lives in these daily, tiny joys. I stopped thinking about later or perfect time. I acted now. Each small step made me feel alive and capable. I celebrated my tiny wins every day, learning, walking, connecting. These small actions became my victories. Momentum grew slowly but surely. I noticed opportunities to act every day. A kind word, a smile, a short help, each small choice created positive energy. I practiced patience with myself. Small steps matter more than rushing. Every tiny action adds to a life well lived. I realized that waiting keeps fear alive. Action, even small, gives courage and confidence. I felt stronger with every tiny choice. I started sharing small actions with friends. They were inspired and tried their own small steps. Happiness spreads through simple deeds. I focused on what I could do today. Stretch, drink water, write, smile. Each tiny act was real progress. Life became active and joyful. I understood that happiness is in my hands. I can create it with small actions, one step at a time. Waiting only delays joy. I decided to live fully now. Small actions, present awareness, tiny choices, these became my path to happiness. I stopped waiting forever. I learned the secret. Start today, start small, and take one step. Happiness is built moment by moment, choice by choice. Life is happening now. Thank you for listening. Remember, stop waiting. Start living today. Every small step you take creates happiness. Keep practicing English with us at Easy English Official. Follow the words, listen carefully, and repeat after me. Learning English is simple when you practice every day. Apply what you learned today. Take one small action, like stretching or cleaning one item. Find one happy moment, like enjoying your coffee. Share this video with a friend to spread the motivation. Keep growing, keep acting, keep living. Happiness is built one small action at a time. You are capable, and you can start today. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Easy English Official for more motivational and practical English learning videos.